We here at Movie Pilot have painstakingly crawled through every frame of Spider-Man Homecoming to share more Easter eggs, MCU links, and comic book references than even the combined intellect of the Science Bros could discover in one sitting.
Badass.
After all, with great Marvel movies comes great responsibility. So join us in our extensive breakdown for the most detailed recap of Spider-Man Homecoming yet.
You guys are really screwing up my night.
Did you spot the Chitauri Leviathan whose face falls off outside Avengers Tower in the beginning of Homecoming? We wouldn't be surprised if this was the same creature that the Hulk and Iron Man defeated after punching it directly in the face. Adrian Toomes and his crew are intercepted by Damage Control, an agency who have worked to clean up the city after various superhero battles since they first appeared back in Marvel Comics from 1988. Continuing a long-standing tradition, Spider-Man Homecoming features a reworked version of the original theme tune from the 60s cartoon, created by Doctor Strange composer Michael Giacchino.
Here comes the Spider-Man!
Although she's soon set to star in her own spin-off called Silver and Black, could a glimpse of a white-haired student in the school hallway be our first look at Felicia Hardy before she becomes the Black Cat? During chemistry class, Parker continues to experiment with the web fluid that he's invented. Bottles containing the solution are marked version 3.0, which literally refers to how many versions of Spider-Man who have appeared on screen. In Spider-Man 2, there's a moment when Mary Jane Watson tells Parker to go get him, Tiger. This time around though, director John Watts approached this iconic line from the comics in a different way, instead using the catchphrase as part of the banners that adorn the school's hallways before Homecoming.
I think I know that guy.
After Spider-Man accidentally set off an annoyingly loud car alarm, Stan Lee marks his 38th Marvel cameo, shouting, "Don't make me come down there, you punk!" Is Lee playing the Watcher's informant again, or something else entirely? When Parker fights the bank robbers wearing Avengers masks, there's a moment where Spider-Man forces Thor to punch the Hulk, reminding us of their numerous battles over the years, both on page and in cinemas. While Happy Hogan arranges the move to a new Avengers HQ, mention is made of various equipment, including Captain America's new shield, Iron Man's Hulkbuster armor, and Thor's strength-enhancing belt. Hidden among graffiti is the name Bagley, which undoubtedly refers to the famed comic book artist Mark Bagley, who most notably teamed up with writer Brian Michael Bendis on the series Ultimate Spider-Man. Together, their partnership lasted for 111 issues, becoming the longest-running creative team who's ever worked at Marvel. While Ned continues to ask Peter about his secret identity in class, a teacher can be heard droning on about the Sokovia Accords in the background. This law played an integral role in Captain America's Civil War, regulating the use of superpowers by the government. Despite the events of Civil War, schools continue to use educational videos starring Captain America in the classroom. As one teacher puts it, "I'm pretty sure he's a war criminal now." Reference is also made to the hiatus between Captain America First Avenger and Winter Soldier. Take it from a guy who's been frozen for 65 years. Barry Allen sure does like to mess with the timeline, but did he just accidentally merge Marvel and DC together? Probably not. But during Liz's party, students refer to Flash Thompson as Kid Flash, which just so happens to be the superhero moniker adopted by Wally West over on the Flash TV show. In his bid to create a modern-day John Hughes-style superhero movie, director John Watts cuts between Spider-Man running through hedges and Ferris Bueller doing the exact same thing on a TV screen at school. Homecoming eschews the death of Uncle Ben in its entirety to avoid repetition from previous films. The only reminders we have of this tragic backstory is during a scene where Peter begs best friend Ned to keep his identity a secret from Aunt May.
Should we tell everyone?
No.
As he's worried what the stress may do to her. The only mention made of Spidey's origin is during a conversation with Ned, where he asks whether Peter can lay eggs or summon an army of spiders, undoubtedly a reference to Ant-Man. The most interesting question of all, though, is a name drop of the upcoming spin-off film starring Tom Hardy.
Can you spit venom?
While practicing for the competition in Washington, one of the questions asked on the bus mentions a mysterious substance called vibranium. The fictional metal has been a long stay in Marvel Comics, which was used to create Captain America's shield and is most notably associated with the superhero Black Panther.
Good evening, Peter.
Hello?
You have 78 web shooter combination.
Jennifer Connelly doesn't appear in the flesh, instead serving as the voice of Spider-Man's Spider Suit AI, which he affectionately names Karen. Bizarrely, Connelly's real-life husband, Paul Bettany, voices Tony Stark's AI, Jarvis.
Blood toxicity, 24%.
Which means that both suits are linked by each star's real-life marriage to each other. After Spider-Man rescues Liz, the suit's AI tells Peter that this is now his perfect chance to kiss her. However, before he can reenact the iconic upside-down kiss from the first Spider-Man film, Peter's webbing loses its grip and he plummets down the elevator shaft. During a news recap of the events that took place at the Washington Monument, a banner scrolls across the screen with the words, "Man-Spider climbs monument." This is a reference to the Man-Spider, a mutated form of Spidey from the comics who is particularly prominent in the 90s animated series. One of the robotic arms recovered from Ultron's attack on Sokovia was used as the basis for the Shocker's weaponry, creating a direct link between Avengers Age of Ultron and Spider-Man Homecoming. The yellow and brown clothes that both versions of the Shocker wear also alludes to their comic book counterparts. The appearance of Aaron Davis in Homecoming suggests two things. One, Donald Glover's character could return as the Prowler, a comic book vigilante. And two, reference to his nephew suggests that Miles Morales is part of the MCU, which means he could inherit the Spider-Man mantle later down the line. Mac Gargan's on-screen debut hints that he may reappear in the MCU as his villainous alter ego, the Scorpion. And in case you missed it, actor Michael Mando even has a scorpion tattoo emblazoned across his neck. Subtle. After the Vulture brings the roof down on Spider-Man, director John Watts focuses on Parker's struggle to lift the rubble away, recreating one of the most unforgettable comic book covers of all time in the process. Published in February 1966, the cover to The Amazing Spider-Man number 33 remains one of Steve Ditko's most memorable images.
What are you hiding, Peter?
For months, fans thought that Zendaya's character Michelle was just a code name for Mary Jane Watson, Spider-Man's long-standing love interest in the comics.
You guys are losers.
This was confirmed when Michelle refers to herself as MJ, suggesting that Zendaya's character is indeed Mary Jane Watson after all. Eagle-Eye fans may have spotted that Peter Parker wears the same geeky t-shirt in Avengers HQ that Pepper Potts wore in Iron Man 3. Sure, both characters love science, but it sure does seem strange that the pair are linked by Tony Stark's affection too. Although it's never officially named as such, the golden tints in the new suit shown at the end of the film suggest that this was, in fact, the Iron Spider armor that Stark gave to Spider-Man before the events of Civil War in the comics. Don't be surprised if we see this fan-favorite costume return in Avengers Infinity War. The first post-credits scene depicts a meeting between the Vulture and Mac Gargan in jail, where they discuss the possibility of killing Spider-Man once they're released. While Adrian ultimately keeps Parker's identity a secret from the future Scorpion, mention of the Friends on the outside implies that a sinister team-up between 6 of Spider-Man's greatest villains could be on the horizon. Captain America finally arrives in the film's second post-credit scene to discuss patience, reprising his public service announcement videos from earlier in the film to parody the very notion of post-credit scenes. Hi, I'm here to talk to you about patience. Sometimes it seems like it's not worth it. You wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. Those are all the Easter eggs we spotted in Spider-Man Homecoming. Did you see any more? Let us know in the comments.